All right, you guys, so we are at a bit of a impasse here. I haven't been fishing the last couple weeks because my car has been broke down. I can't say couple of weeks. My car has been broke down for a week. But I figured if we can't post fishing videos, we can post fixing my car videos. At least it puts something on the account. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you guys how to replace a radiator in an Rx8. Just stick around and hopefully we'll get this done the right way without breaking as much as possible. Yeah! All right, you guys, so what I'm gonna try to do my best at here is give you as many close-ups as I can of what I'm doing. I'm just kind of taking everything off the top end right here first, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, guys, so you want to start with your air box and your battery and your coolant reservoir. All that has to come off. Once you get that off, you got to take the bumper off to get to your radiator. All right, so a lot of this I've already kind of started. I took all this off the other day, and this is actually why I have to replace my radiator. It's a very common problem with the Rx8 stock radiators. So you take off these two 10mm bolts right here. They're, here and here, and they're connected to your coolant reservoir, and that's how that comes out. They're just two little nuts like this. And then once you get those out, if you want to start there, you know, a lot of people start with the battery. That's where I'm about to go. So you take this battery off. Kind of just tuck your wires back a little bit. Make sure your negative's not touching any metal. Now this battery has proven to be a pain in the butt to get out because it doesn't have a strap. So flip it up, pick it up, battery's out. So next what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take your ratchet extension, as big as you can get it. Mine's got an adapter on it because I've got a cheap set from Walmart, but your extension, my adapter, and then a 10mm socket, and there's a bolt in the bottom of your battery tray that you need to take out. Look kind of like that. Just hold your battery tray down. So actually what it looks like is it's going to be easier if I move my coolant reservoir first and push it back and get it out of the way, because I've got two more bolts on this battery tray that actually hold it in place. Oh, and this little gray connector here, you want to make sure you disconnect that. Set that off to the side, and part of it sticks to your coolant reservoir. And once that's out, just like that, this is actually the part that broke off down in my radiator. It's actually broken off inside there. I've got to get that out still. Okay, time out. Got to go get my other tools. Okay, so I had to run and grab this, but you're going to need a 10mm wrench. There's one. So we're back. Camera got a little hot. No big deal. Had to put her in the shade. Got the battery tray out. Oh, goodness. I have loosened up the top two 10mm bolts on my air intake box. I've also loosened up where my airflow, or the back of my air box where my mass airflow sensor sits. I've loosened up that clamp for my hose that goes into my intake. And I've taken this, I'm starting to take this off. That's actually where we're at now, is I'm taking the two bottom bolts out to get my whole air box to come out. From what I understand, this little swivel socket right here is just about the best invention ever when it comes to doing something to an Rx8. So that's your two bottom bolts for your air box. Oh, I lied. Okay. So your actual air box comes out of here like so. Got a couple of vacuum lines on here. A couple of wiring harnesses. So this vacuum line's actually clamped onto the air box, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off this little cylinder here. set it back off to the side, and now my air box is free. And then look at this right here, y'all. See that? That's what you get when you premix. So I'm actually going to take these out too. These are little boots for your screws to sit in that go in the bottom of your airbox tray. I'm going to take those out too, just strictly so I don't lose them. And then now, your tray essentially, well, okay, so I don't know what this vacuum line goes to, but it is very well connected. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this plastic off here. This is the first piece of plastic you want to take off to take your bumper off. I'm just going to go ahead and take it off so I can get access to whatever that vacuum line is. Alright, so there's also two little plastic Phillips head screws on here. Okay, so the little boot that these sit in, you can leave in there. They're attached to the bumper. Alright, so you should have a whole bumper or a whole piece of plastic full of those little plastic clips. And they should just pop right out. Came right out. Wish they were all that easy. Alright, this should be all of the pieces for this. Oh, I just realized I took my headlight assembly out. That's good. So now, once you have this piece out, there's 4 bolts. There's 2 here and 2 right here. What you want to do is, if you have fog lights, loosen all 4 of them, only take out the front 2 and leave these 2 in there just a couple turns just to hold your bumper up. What I'm going to do real quick is put these headlight bolts back in because I didn't realize that's what I was taking apart. These should be 10 millimeters as well, and they are. And they're in there. So these front 2, I'm going to take all the way out. And that's what you're looking for. You should have a washer and 1 10 millimeter bolt. So once your ratchet starts getting a little loose, just tighten it down a couple more turns and leave it there. Alright, now once you have the front of your bumper loose-ish, okay, you want to come over here, right in your wheel well here. See this indicator? You pop these clips for your wheel well, pop this plastic back. There's a screw behind that wheel, or behind the indicator you have to take off. Both of these should be a Phillips head screwdriver. Notice how I say should. Be able to just pop those right out of there just like that. They probably won't go back in that easy, but that's essentially what we're doing. So right up underneath here, which mine is, well, it might be. That might be a Phillips head screwdriver. Yep, okay. So, get in there, take that side indicator bolt out. That's holding the corner of your bumper in. And then once you have this little bolt out, you want to take your indicator. You should be able to come up underneath this plastic and pull it down. It should come right out of the little rivet that it's holding there. And you want to take your indicator, pull it out. As soon as I figure out how to do that. Then you want to take this wire clamp, which doesn't look like it's clamped. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not clamped. That would be because it's a bulb. You just twist it out. Leave that there. Move it out of the way of the bumper. You can take it off. And on to the next side. Okay. So now that you've gotten that out, there should be, I think, 5 or 6 bolts on the bottom of the bumper that I'm going to take out real quick. Take the fog lights out, and that should come right out. Okay, so update. A couple of those are kind of seized on. So I don't know what size bolt they are. I think they're 10 millimeter. But we're about to find out. I lied. They are probably 8s. All right, update again. They are 8s. Okay, so I think one of these is a 10, and that's not normal. That's been replaced. So if you have to do this at any point, mine has been replaced, one of them. That is the original, that is the replacement. Now, if I've gotten everything off, this whole bumper should, yeah. Okay, so now that you've done that, you can take your other 2 top bolts out. Probably helps if you detach it from the rest of the wheel well. All right, so as you can see, got the bumper off. It's here behind me. Now that I've gotten the bumper off, I've gotten my airbox tray out. I've disconnected all my fans. I disconnected the white connector on my negative. I don't know if all these are the same as you guys have or not. This may be aftermarket, I don't know. So as I was saying, there's a white connector on the negative, and then there's a black box on the positive terminal that had a connection in it too that I took out just so I could put the battery wires that way and my fan wires and stuff right here. That way everything's out of my way. All I have to do is unmount the radiator now, which actually that's not true either. I've got to get under the car and take off this plastic piece here. I think there's some bolts, some clips. Oh, now these are 12s. I did cut my finger open. Good. You ain't bleeding, you ain't doing it right. So if I remember correctly, this piece here is obviously your wheel well, and right up in here, up behind your oil cooler, there are 2 bolts that hold this plastic on, and they're 12 millimeter. And we're gonna try it this way. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. Shoot, I thought they were 12s. Oh. All right, here's one side. All right, plastic's out. You know, we're gonna have to work on that later. I've got more tools. Point is, plastic's out. Now you can just kind of decide for yourself, well, poop. What you want to do here, you can either start at the top and work your way down, start at the bottom, work your way up. I, personally, am going to start up here. Giant pain in the ass, mainly because of this screw right here. So we're going to take this out. Okay. Swivel sockets are for. Okay, I'm just gonna show you guys this real quick. So if you can see down in there where my socket is on that bolt, right down in here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but down in there is your top bolt for your radiator. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this bolt out right here, not out, just out enough that I can get to that bolt to my radiator. Oh, I think I'm rounding it off. Oh, well, that would probably help. Okay, now that we've got that out, should be able to get to the other bolt for the radiator. Oh, there it went. Yeah. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Yeah, that was convenient. All right. Top radiator nut is out, finally. Make sure you don't drop those. You have to have those, put the new one back in. Now that the top ones are loose, okay, now we gotta go underneath the car, and there should be a couple under there holding it on. Two of them that go to your AC condenser that sit in front of it. Oh, and these should be fun, from what I understand. That's off of there because I broke the plastic around it, not because of any other reason. What are you doing? What do you think of my completely tore apart car?
Looks like trash.
Oh, I'm sure it does. This radiator's about to make me feel like trash. Will you maybe get me a new glass of water? Because I'm out of ice and it's warm and I'm dying. Hi, Houston baby. What are you doing? Having more fun than your dad, I know that. Well, I tell you how much of a piece of junk this radiator is. I'm literally crumbling pieces of this thing off.
Do you know what you're doing?
Yeah. Yes, I am qualified, babe.
Says who?
Huh?
Says who?
Me. I don't need nobody to tell me what I can and cannot do. If I know how to do it, I'm going to do it.
Here's your water. I'm going to for sure take a shower tonight.
Oh yeah, thank you, baby.
You're welcome. I'm trying to get down.
Yes, sir. Intercooler detached. Yes, sir. Those are on there. Uno. This little bracket right here is attached to your frame, and the rubber boot of your radiator goes in that bottom hole right here. And it's just held on by two 12mm bolts. And you're gonna have one of those on each side. Oh yeah. I just broke my socket. That's good. Now we just gotta hope and pray this one doesn't break. Alright. Bracket number 2 done. This is a way bigger pain in the ass than it needs to be. Okay, we're just gonna have to do it. Because I have got to get these off. Well, that's one way to do it, I guess. Well, the top connector for the cooler just broke off, so good times. Oh, this one might come out. Oh, nope, it broke too. Okay. Well, intercooler's out of the way. Yeah, that should be able to come out as soon as I get those AC lines out. Listen, these things may not strip wire for shit, but they are some hellaciously good pliers. Okay, so now I should be able to twist this hose a little bit, get it loose, pop it off the radiator without eating antifreeze. This hose you can kind of tuck up back in here, that way no extra fluid runs out. I've got a giant hole in my shirt. Now what I should be able to do, essentially, pop this AC line out of that, okay? Then I gotta go down there and take off that other hose, and that should be it. Should be. Oh, there we go. All right. And here come the waterworks. Yep, that's what I figured. Antifreeze on my arm, not a big deal. Antifreeze on me, not a fan. Now that that's not on there anymore, this should just drop out of there. Oh, no, not with the wire still connected, it won't. All right. Good night. All right. Radiator out. So, problem with said radiator is right here. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but there's a little nipple that goes right next to your top water hose and broke right off. I had to do all that because of that. Okay, now I'll round up all my tools here. Oh, I need to grab these wires. I don't want them just sitting down on the ground. That goes over there. This fly can really go on somewhere. That goes over there. I need a drink. These bolts and clips and stuff, I'm gonna put them all right here. Just because, I mean, I don't know why you'd come steal my clips and my bolts, but they're all going right here. That's good. It's probably sinking as we speak. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's not on the ramp very good. All right, very sweaty. Oh God, it's all stuck to me. Very sweaty, but I know you can't really see down in there very well, but got the radiator out. I gotta order the new radiator tomorrow or the next day. And after that, I'll show you guys putting it in. I'm probably gonna split it up into 2 different videos. That way I have a video this week, video next week, because it's probably, radiator's probably not gonna get here until Monday or Tuesday. So, but anyway guys, this is the best I can do. So I got it out. Y'all watched me get it out. It was a long, tiring process, and I'm incredibly sweaty, but we got the job done. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it wasn't fishing, and I know it wasn't hunting, I know it wasn't, outdoorsy stuff, but we're outdoors in this crazy heat changing a radiator in a car. So I hope you guys had a great time watching this video. Subscribe, and we will see y'all on the next video.